hands, foreign business interests, and those interested in the path forward for the Chinese internet and industry. This article provides a crucial lens into intellectual and public discourse in China about developmentalism, humanism, and the future of the digital public sphere. In America, media kingpins and now tech oligarchs have held increasingly more powerful positions in shaping public discourse, political will, and national priorities. However, it is true that the vast majority of public intellectuals come from the humanistic disciplines. Besides a handful of science popularizers and niche commentators in fields such as personal finance, AI, entrepreneurship, or health, it is rare to see individuals holding PhDs in STEM fields commenting on issues such as satellite technology, sustainable development, agriculture, or national infrastructure. CEOs hold greater prestige and public attention in this domain than scientists or industrialists. While this could be explained with the argument that, over the previous 2 decades, America has sought to establish itself as a leader in post-industrial affairs such as global finance, software development, and higher education, the Industrial Party provides a poignant point of comparison between Chinese and American development and public discourse. In one of Yu Yang's early examples, he discusses the ability of the Industrial Party to dampen outrage at a high-speed rail accident and redirect positive public opinion back to the dramatic development that this technology has enabled across the country. While this example may appear to outsiders as yet another instance of vertically instituted consensus, Liang would imply that, as members of a non-political intelligentsia, the Industrial Party's public footprint actually represents a grassroots outworking of a middle-class consciousness which endorses development as part of a rationally minded nationalism. This example also provides a counter-argument to those who would say that the Industrial Party represents relations of production that are outmoded for post-industrial, neoliberal, or information-based economies. Not only would it be nice in America to have a high-speed rail, it would additionally be a boon to have educated, technical thought leaders with political clout and sense of civic responsibility that could orient public discourse around communitarian topics such as infrastructure and uneven development. Yu ultimately endorses the Industrial Party's success. He argued that it challenges the entrenchment of capitalistic concepts such as entrepreneurship within China's middle class and how education reform towards a more liberal arts model drives China down a wrong path. In China, this represents a left-wing perspective, and while this may not map onto a Western political compass, it raises certain paradoxical comparisons with America's New Right, who sought to champion the worker instead of the small businessman and to criticize the humanities and liberal arts institutions. Finally, when I read the original piece, certain American public figures came to mind, and I list them here to encourage the reader to begin their own comparisons. CEOs like Jamie Dimon, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Palantir's Alex Karp, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, scientists such as Stephen Hawking, Brian Cox, or Neil deGrasse Tyson. How do these figures correspond with the arguments being made below? What do their relative clout and political engagement say about the priorities of American politics, especially in comparison with Chinese? What does this comparison say about the different attitude towards industry in the public sphere? These questions and the way the following article helps us tease out answers will be crucial for understanding the development of contemporary China in relation to the rest of the world. The Industrial Party will grow in importance, and it is crucial to understand it. 1. Introduction. The words industry and humanity seem to have little in common with one another. The former is associated with images of heaviness, force, machinery, and pollution, while the latter points to poetry, elegance, emotion, and cultural heritage, 2 sets of meaning far removed from one another. However, the term Industrial Party, popularized on the Chinese internet, has merged in contrast with the Sentimental Party. The term Industrial Party has appeared before in socialist history. In the 1920s, the Soviet government used the term to refer to groups of engineers and specialists who were arrested for undermining industrialization. In the 1960s, Khrushchev's USSR set up a joint party committee for the industrial sector, which he referred to specifically as his Industrial Party. Both were designations assigned by outside forces. Today's concept of the Industrial Party has a coherent sense of internal identity. Internal identity is not directly derived from the Soviet Union, instead originating from more recent events. While the Western world continues to face down the dilemma of deindustrialization, developing countries still move forward with the 20th century historical proposition of industrialization, raising questions of spiritual and intellectual significance for modern people. The Industrial Party is one of these questions. One direct reason for the emergence of the modern Industrial Party in China today is that there's a highly patriotic element of STEM intellectuals who are dissatisfied that the field of public opinion has been controlled by almost exclusively by humanities-based intellectuals. This group believes that their counterparts in the humanities lack scientific or technical foundations in regard to major issues concerning national and social development. This has created a sense of urgency within the group to express their views publicly. They have therefore taken upon themselves the responsibility of public education, especially in the realm of national science and technology development. Writing on the growing influence of internet in shaping public sentiment in China, they've gained entry into the domain of public discourse, from which they were previously isolated. The 2011 Ningbo Wenzhou train accident was a major opportunity for the discourse of the Industrial Party to break into the mainstream of public opinion. At that time, the train accident triggered a tsunami of criticism from public commentators towards high-speed rail construction. Mainstream commentators fiercely criticized the great leap forward of high-speed rail and a system of state-owned enterprises across various media platforms using the rallying call of "Wait for your soul." However, the newly established Observer opposed this critical tide, not only producing positive high-speed rail news in response, but also inviting a group of technically minded authors to discuss and support the development of high-speed rail from the perspectives of scientific and policy planning. The detailed content of some of these articles include analyses of the difference between dedicated passenger rail and passenger cargo rail, the gap between Highway Safety Index and Railroad Safety Index, and the impact of high-speed rail on regional economic development, among others. It was a wide-ranging and in-depth discussion which opened a new arena of public discourse. Around the same time, The Big Goal, a book which has been attributed to members of the Industrial Party, was published, popularizing the terminology and concepts of this group on the internet and in circles of public opinion. Since then, the Industrial Party has played a role in supporting mainstream public opinion on many major topics related to science, technology, and industry, including the reaction to the trade war between China and the United States. The distinctive rhetoric of the Industrial Party has attracted a large number of readers who are drawn to its pragmatic stance amid intense international competition. Ma Qianzu, the pen name of Ren Changhao, who majored in civil engineering, has become one of the top 3 most liked celebrities on the question and answer website. Zhihu Yuan Nanfeng, who majored in chemical physics, advocates for China's scientific and technological development through eloquent and data-rich articles, which are edited and published by The Observer and have gained wide influence. Jia Jinjing, who focuses on macroeconomic policy research, has made a mark on China's think tank community with his industrial analysis capabilities.